I remembered that he loved everything to do with sand. Andrea was staring at him and making goo-goo eyes. She had a crush on Mr. Sunny. The ghost of Mr. Klutz and I were flying so low that I could hear Andrea talking to AJ in the past. I have it all planned out, Andrea said. When I grow up, Mr. Sunny and I will be married right here on the beach. We'll have a solar-powered bungalow, and I'll help him build sand castles all day. It will be so romantic. You can't marry Mr. Sunny, AJ in the past told Andrea. He's too old for you. You're mean, Arlo, Andrea shouted at AJ in the past. I can marry anybody I want. The ghost of Mr. Klutz swooped up in the air, and I followed him. That wasn't very nice, AJ, he told me. Why do you say mean things to Andrea all the time? She says mean things to me, I replied. Two wrongs don't make a right, said the ghost of Mr. Klutz. Come, AJ, let's go to another place. Chapter 4, The L Word. I followed the ghost of Mr. Klutz as we swooped higher into the sky. Then we zoomed really fast away from the ocean. Where are you taking me now? I asked. You'll find out, the ghost of Mr. Klutz replied. Flying is so cool. I wish I could fly everywhere. We swooped down lower, and I could see the rooftop of elementary school in the distance. That's my school. Wait, you're taking me to school? I asked. Yes, the ghost of Mr. Klutz replied, in more ways than one. We were getting closer to the school. The ghost of Mr. Klutz wasn't slowing down. It looked like we were going to crash right into the wall of the school. Watch out! I shouted, putting my hands over my eyes. But we didn't crash. We flew right through the wall. It was the coolest thing ever. Being a temporary ghost was fun. The ghost of Mr. Klutz and I flew through the wall into the vomitorium. It used to be called the cafetorium, but then some first grader threw up in there, and everybody started calling it the vomitorium. It was all decorated for Halloween with pictures of witches and pumpkins and bats and stuff. The whole gang was sitting below us eating lunch, including me, AJ, and the past. Can they see or hear us? I asked the ghost of Mr. Klutz. No, he replied as we hovered over the table. Do you remember this day, AJ? Oh yeah, I replied. Halloween is my favorite holiday. Do you love it? The ghost of Mr. Klutz asked me. Ugh, he said the L word. I didn't answer. I tried to never say the L word out loud. That's the first rule of being a kid. Wait a minute, I said. I thought you were the ghost of summers past. Halloween isn't in the summer? Asked the ghost of Mr. Klutz. Oops, I really need to get a calendar. Below us, my friends were talking about Miss Mary, who was a student teacher and also happens to be Mr. Klutz's daughter. Miss Mary is scary, AJ in the past said. She looks like a vampire, said Neil. Maybe she really is a vampire, said AJ in the past. Did you ever think of that? She dresses in all black. She wears black makeup. She's got a pet bat. Stop trying to scare Emily, Andrea told AJ in the past. I'm scared, said Emily. Miss Mary probably lives in a cave and sleeps hanging upside down from the ceiling, said AJ in the past. Then she goes out at night and bites people in the neck and drinks their blood. We've got to do something, Emily yelled, and then she went running out of the vomitorium. Everybody laughed, except Andrea, who made a mean face at AJ in the past. The ghost of Mr. Klutz turned to me. That wasn't very nice, AJ. The things you said that day weren't nice to Emily, and it wasn't nice what you said about my daughter either. I was just trying to be funny, I told him. Sometimes what's funny to you isn't funny to other people, the ghost of Mr. Klutz told me. Sometimes what's funny to you hurts other people's feelings. What if I say I'm sorry? I asked. It's too late now, said the ghost of Mr. Klutz. That happened a long time ago. Let's go. I followed the ghost of Mr. Klutz as he flew through the wall again and out of the school. You seem to have a lot of anger in you, AJ, the ghost of Mr. Klutz said as we flew over the rooftops. It's not nice to be a hater. I'm not a hater, I told the ghost of Mr. Klutz. I hate haters. Is that so? He replied, taking a piece of paper out of his pocket as he flew. I made a little list of things you said you hate. Let me see. You said you hate school. You said you hate spiders. You hate reading out loud. Tests, snot, ferrets, germs, being smart, putting on plays, board games, taking a bath, flowers, rain. Yeah, I guess I did say I hate those things, I admitted. Getting hit by water balloons, the ghost of Mr. Klutz continued. Coffee, dead fish, when a helicopter flies off your head, zombies, when the school gets attacked by monsters, toilet seats, When an alien spaceship lands in the middle of the playground, when an asteroid crashes into the Earth and wipes out all life on our planet. Yeah, I said I hate that stuff too, come to think of it, I admitted. Okay, so I know lots of things that you hate, the ghost of Mr. Klutz said. Now tell me some of the things that you love. He said the L word again. I don't L anything. Are you telling the truth, AJ? The ghost of Mr. Klutz asked me. Of course I'm telling the truth. If you're not telling the truth, the ghost of Mr. Klutz said, that would make you a hater and a liar. I never told a lie in my life, I insisted. Oh no, said the ghost of Mr. Klutz. You said there would be no ghosts in this book, and here I am. So that was a lie. Hey, I didn't know you were going to show up, I shouted at him. I was really mad now. I'm innocent. I think you might have an anger management problem, AJ, the ghost of Mr. Klutz told me. It would be good if you could appreciate some of the nice things in life. All the things that you love. Ugh, he said that word again. I bet there are lots of things that you love, AJ, said the ghost of Mr. Klutz. The L word is for girls, I told him. Love is for everybody, AJ, he replied. Admit it. No. We were getting close to my home. It's time for you to go back home now, the ghost of Mr. Klutz told me as we hovered outside my window. As you mentioned, it's a school night. Can't we fly around some more? I asked. Flying is awesome. Will you admit that you love flying, AJ? I didn't want to say the L word out loud. I didn't know what to say. I didn't know what to do. I had to think fast. This was the worst thing to happen since TV turnoff week. But I couldn't say it. I wasn't going to say the L word, so I didn't say anything. Good night, AJ, said the ghost of Mr. Klutz with a sigh. I climbed back through the window and got into bed. I turned around to say goodbye, but the ghost of Mr. Klutz was already gone. I touched my skin. I wasn't a ghost anymore. I pulled the covers up over my head and went back to sleep. This was turning out to be a very weird night, and it was about to get weirder.